Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's March 17th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see the low pressure spinning into southern Oregon and northern California right now as we speak. Some convergent zone activity possible today, and we've got more systems on the way. And we'll take a look at the extended forecast. As always, as we go through the video here this morning, you can see the precipitation sagging across some of southern Oregon right now. Looks like it is still raining currently at Medford right now. Some light rain out there, and it's about 38 degrees, some chilly temperatures out there. Looks like 41 or so for Seattle, 34 for Spokane. Some precipitation still moving across the area. There is a Lewiston right now checking in at 42 degrees. You can see the showery weather here behind the Olympic Mountains here, and this behind the frontal system as well. But you can see that we've got this showery activity going on today, and that's what's going to cause some convergent zone activity. I'll show you more on that here in a moment. Now, taking a look at the apparent temperature, and if I update this, let's make sure here, and we look at the valid time. That is about 8:45. So Zulu time tutorial there. Right now we're subtracting 7, so you just subtract 7 from 15. You'd be at 8:45 a.m. and it's about 9:15 as I'm doing this video right now. So there's the higher terrain, cooler, of course, than the lower elevation, but still some chilly temperatures out there. And again, this is apparent temperature, so this takes wind chill into account. And if you want a nice, affordable home weather station, speaking of temperatures and wind chill and rain and lightning detection and whatnot, this is a good one to have. Very attractive unit. Click on the link down below to save 10% off if you'd like one. And UTC, again, right now it is 4:18. So you'd subtract 7 hours from that. So you subtract 4, you're at noon. You subtract 3 more, we're at 9:18. So you know exactly when I'm doing this video right now. And you can also put this into a 24-hour clock. So that would be 16:18 Zulu or UTC time. And you would just subtract 9 from the 16 and you would get to 9:18 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or whatever it is here on the West Coast. Now, taking a look here at Seattle. So we don't have anything going on right now. Small craft advisory out there. But if we go now towards Portland, there is still the winter weather advisory. And this goes on in through 5 p.m. on Tuesday. So it starts 5 p.m. tonight, and then you use additional snow accumulations, 4 to 9 inches, northern central Oregon Cascades. And again, watch out for those slick roads out there if you're out and about. And this is southwest Oregon here and some of California or Siskiyou County as well. But if we go down a little bit more, look at these 2-day totals. Flynn Prairie, almost 9 inches. Devil's Graveyard, 4.88 inches. Evans Creek, 3.27. Grants Pass, look at that, almost 5 inches. Sexton Summit, 4.31 as well. So yeah, some very heavy rainfall there over the last couple days. And this is Pendleton National Weather Service. Today through 5 p.m. Wednesday, there is a winter weather advisory. Most of the substantial snow will be above 4,500 feet, northern Blue Mountains there. And you can see how much, 5 to 8 inches, northern Blue Mountains, 6 to 10. And if you want to make storm reports here, you can go ahead and see that there. I put it in the link there yesterday as well. So you can click on that. You select a report type, and then you click next, and you go in there, and you'll go step by step. And I think there's a GPS built in here that it'll go to your location based on your IP address. So anyway, let's see if I can click through there. It doesn't let me click off that. So today we do have a thunderstorm threat. It looks like it's from Seattle down to Portland and some of the Willamette Valley just north of Eugene, some of the coastal areas as well. I'll show you more on that here in a moment. But there is for eastern Oregon, including Pendleton and Boise as well. It gets up in towards the Idaho Panhandle a bit there, just south of Spokane. Now taking a look at the northern Pacific Ocean. You've got Japan to the far left there. There's Washington and Oregon off to the right. There goes our storm system. And then we've got a bit of a transient ridge here for Tuesday and Wednesday, but the next system is going to bring some blustery conditions to the coastline there. Jet stream continues to be pointed at the Pacific Northwest. Another system coming in as we go through Friday. We start to build some ridging, though. We're probably going to be on the dirty side of that, meaning there's probably some precipitation moving into western BC. Gets a bit amplified there, and you can see the jet stream is nice and wavy in this extended time period. So this forecast is no doubt going to be changing. So we got some troughs and some ridges and whatnot and back and forth, and you can kind of see it's been showing this cooler pattern towards the end of the month yet again there as well. But I'm hoping that that ridge, if I back up there, maybe this ridge will build enough where it'll give us a few nice days here. It's always nice to get some of these nice days as you go through the end of the month of March. You can probably hear my voice. I've been dealing with this cold here for a couple days. Seems like it's getting a little bit better, though. Now, taking a look at the European model here. So there goes this system. We get the transient ridge Tuesday, Wednesday, then the next system rolling in as we go through the day. Wednesday, it's going to get windy on the Oregon coast. Troughing continues. Another system moves through, and then we start to build some of that ridging there. And hopefully that amplifies enough to bring us some nice weather. You see that trough out over the Pacific Ocean there. Eventually, that will kick through as well. And then maybe that cooler pattern starts to re-emerge. Look at this ridge out here across the Bering Sea in western Alaska. My goodness. And then that trough digging down across the Gulf of Alaska. That could be interesting here for the Pacific Northwest, but it's far off in fantasy land right now. Now, if we take a look here, so again, there's Tuesday afternoon, maybe some showers still around, but relatively speaking, a fairly dry day. And much of Wednesday will be dry for a lot of the region as well. Then we go through Wednesday afternoon. It starts for Southwest Oregon, Vancouver Island, BC, some blustery conditions, mainly along the coast. And then we bring in another rainy system here as we go through Thursday into Friday, off and on. And then the ridging starts to build here, but you notice, again, some of the precipitation still hanging across Southwest BC and portions of Washington. But then maybe it'll amplify enough to give us a couple nice days before we start to change the pattern again, possibly. But, we're still looking 10 days out. So who knows what's going to happen at that time frame. But you see additional storm systems through the end of March. Now, taking a look at what's going on here today, this is what the Doppler radar may look like here over the next 60 hours. Hot off the presses, North American 3-kilometer high-resolution model. A few showers out there, as you can see. And then we go on in towards this afternoon. You see some snow flying for the higher terrain. And this convergent zone signature right there across some of the central sound, northern Kitsap Peninsula, central Puget Sound there, Everett down towards Seattle. You could get a lightning strike out there. And that's why they do have that thunderstorm risk out today. Some of these showers you might get a lightning strike or two with. And then we scroll all the way on in through Tuesday here, and a few showers around. But Tuesday is still largely a dry day. Just a few weaker showers here showing up. And then we go through Wednesday. A lot of the day for much of the region will be fairly dry before the next frontal system starts to roll in as we go through Wednesday afternoon, shown there. Starts to creep up towards western Washington by Wednesday night. If we take a look at the 80-meter wind speeds, so that convergent zone activity, you can kind of see that this is one of the indicators of convergent zone potential on the leeward slopes of the Olympic Mountains. You get this northwest wind here coming down the Strait of Juan de Fuca through the Chehalis Gap. They meet on this side, and of course, they have nowhere to go but up once these winds converge with each other. That's why they call it the convergent zone, and that's why that convergent zone signature is showing up today again, kind of wrapping through the Strait of Juan de Fuca and the Chehalis Gap. Some gusty winds for the east slopes of the Cascades of Washington, Oregon as well, and then we start to scroll off in towards Tuesday morning right there, and you see the gusty winds east, and then we start to pick up those winds a bit here as that system rolls in on the day Wednesday. See things getting pretty blustery here for the Oregon coast as we go through the late morning hours and into the afternoon hours. That low pressure system is going to be right off our coastline there. We'll take another look at that one again tomorrow. Could be some strong winds along the coastal areas. Doesn't look too strong for the inland areas right now, though. An accumulated 10-meter max wind gust scrolling through this fairly quickly. You can see some of those gusts are up over 60 miles per hour, maybe some mid-40s there for the Washington coast, but not too bad for the interior areas, relatively speaking, especially after the season we've just been through with some windy conditions. Now, look at the high-resolution rapid refresh. We're zoomed in on the central Puget Sound here. So here we are scrolling. This is about 1 o'clock. There's 2, 3. You can see some of these showers out here. Again, you can't rule out a lightning strike with some of this activity. There's 4 o'clock and there's 5 o'clock right there, and you see that. Maybe that'll kick off a thunderstorm here across some of the Puget Sound, Kitsap Peninsula towards the Seattle Metro as we go. Again, that's about 5, 6, 7. You can see that pushing back across I-90 into the foothills as well. So yeah, that convergent zone signature showing up on the high resolution rapid refresh as well. And if we scroll through this again, you can kind of see the lightning potential as we go through this afternoon. There's 5 o'clock, 6. Look at that, right across some of the Seattle Metro there. We'll see if that happens or not. But again, it's going to be kind of hit and miss with this lightning potential today, but there is that chance. Now, lightning flash density potential on the European. Let's see if it agrees as we go through the day today. It shows some of it out there. Not too great of a signal there. Even something down towards Portland, off to the east portions there, the Metro, as you go through Monday afternoon also. Just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Positive snow depth change in inches. And the air is pretty chilly, but as this is coming across, the cold air aloft rolling across the region, you might see some flakes flying on some of the higher hills, or you might see some of these showers today producing some hail as well. So watch out for that. Might make the road slick for some areas, especially when you get some higher elevation, terrain. But we're not expecting any kind of snowfall down into the lower elevations, including the I-5 corridor or anything of that nature. Looking at that colder air, you can see as it moves in through the day today and tonight, you gotta see we still got this cooler air around. We're looking at 2,500 feet, and we are below freezing just off the surface there. And then as we scroll on the upcoming week, you can see we do warm up aloft, and we kind of put that snow threat down into some of the higher hills to rest, at least for now. Taking a look at accumulated 10-meter max wind gusts on the European. So let's see what it shows for the Oregon coast on Wednesday. Not a bad streak of wind here riding up the coastline there with that. And then as we bring some of these gusty winds, maybe into southwest Washington, maybe into the Puget Sound, just blustery into the 30-mile-per-hour range. Then we go on towards this weekend, and you can see it pops off. Seattle 43, some gusts up towards the upper 40s or 50 there for Whidbey Island. So we'll watch that next system closely there as well. 15-day precipitation anomaly. You can clearly see the storm track is going to be pointed at the Pacific Northwest as we go through the end of March. And this is the 30-day running 500 millibar heights. You're going to see the troughing off our coastline. This was yesterday's run, and this is today's here. But there is some ridging out here as well. So maybe we'll get some back and forth and some nice spring weather here as we head off in towards the month of April. 6 to 10 day, look at this above normal starting to creep up the west coast. There's a 6 to 10 day precipitation above normal across the Pacific Northwest. Also, 8 to 14 day as well. Look at that heat trying to build there across some of the southwest USA, and there's the 8 to 14 day also. So anyway, yeah, watch out. Eyes on the sky today. Maybe you'll catch a thunderstorm rolling by or some small hail, or maybe even hear a clap of thunder out there and see some lightning, and I'll be out there watching it for the central Puget Sound here today. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. We'll break this all down again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.